Good morning, children. Stay safely at home and do all the study related work properly in time. So, in the alternating current chapter, I discussed last topic was only R circuit, means the only one resistor was connected in the circuit. So, today I will discuss only L circuit first. Okay. L stands for the inductor. Okay, L is the coefficient of inductance, self-inductance, and it is associated with the inductor. Means you see what kind of circuit we have taken. Only one inductor, it is connected to the alternating current source. And what is the EMF of the alternating current source? E is equal to E0 sin omega t. Alright. Now here you understand it, whenever you will connect it, then as alternating current is passing through the inductor, there will be induced EMF in it, and according to Faraday's law, what is the induced EMF? I hope you can remember, minus L di dt. Okay, I repeat, what is this minus L di dt representing? It is the induced EMF across the inductor. Alright. Now, if I apply Kirchhoff's law, Kirchhoff's voltage law, for a loop, you know that the this one, alternating EMF is equal to the PD across the inductor. Alright. Or you can say EMF and the this one, the potential differences across different parts, if you add them, it should be 0, isn't it? So you see, you can write E0 sin omega t minus L di dt is equal to 0. So I can write L di dt is E0 sin omega t. So if you take di, then you see L and dt, you have to take this side. So what it will become? L will come down, E0 by L, dt will come here. So it will be E0 by L sin omega t dt. Now I have integrated both sides. I have jumped here one step. I hope you have understood. Easy to understand it. So integration di is I, then E0 by L, integration sin omega t dt. Integration sin omega t dt, how much? Minus cos omega t by omega. Alright, because here the variable is t, but here function is omega t. So it will be minus cos omega t by omega. So omega I have taken here is 0 by omega L minus cos omega t. So you see, you can write what will be the current in the circuit. Current in the circuit is E0 by omega L sin minus cos omega t. Applying the concept of trigonometry, you can write it as sin omega t minus pi by 2. Is that clear? So you see, what is the phase of the EMF? Omega t. What is the phase of the current you have got? Omega t minus pi by 2. So this negative sign indicates that I lags behind d by an angle pi by 2. So these are the important points related with the L circuit. You are supposed to remember, learn and remember. So what is the first point? Understand it. E is E0 sin omega t. So phase is omega t. For current, phase is omega t minus pi by 2. Minus is there. It means I lags behind E. Okay. I lags behind D by an angle pi by 2. Is that clear? What is the meaning? It means that when E is minimum, I will be maximum. Okay, but I will be maximum in the negative direction. Okay, what is the meaning? Understand it. I lags behind D by an angle pi by 2. What does it mean? You know, E is equal to E0 sin omega t means E will start from 0, from a minimum value, isn't it? When E is minimum, current is maximum, but current is in opposite direction, it is maximum. This is the meaning of this sentence. Alright, and then what will happen? When it is maximum, what will happen to I? I will be 0. Alright, this is the meaning that I lags behind D by pi by 2. Now you see, from this relation, it is clear that I0, the peak value of the current, it is given by E0 by omega L. Alright, now we know. So peak value of the current, how we have got? Peak value of the EMF by omega L. So as according to our concept, we know current is EMF by resistance. So what is the dimension of omega L? It is resistance, or simply we can say omega L is the resistance offered by the inductor to the current. Okay, and we call it as, we just denote it by XL, means it is known as inductive reactance. What is its name? Inductive reactance. And what is the meaning of inductive reactance? Meaning of inductive reactance is resistance offered by L to I. Is that clear? In resistance offered by the inductor. L means here what? Inductor to the current. That is the inductive reactance. Alright, and what is the value of the inductive reactance? Omega L. All these 3 points are very important. One may not handle this one, especially the bio children. You may find it difficult to understand it, but you are supposed to learn and remember, understand also these important points related with the only inductor circuit. Okay, so for only inductor circuit, I lags behind D by angle pi by 2. Peak value of the current is 0 by omega L, and inductive reactance XL is equal to omega L. And what is inductive reactance? Inductive reactance is the resistance offered by the inductor to the alternating current. That is known as the inductive reactance. Now you follow how to draw the phasor diagram. I hope you have not forgotten. So this is our reference line, and the rotating vector, it is making an angle omega t. Okay, so this vector, it is representing E0, peak value of the EMF. Alright, now you see what will be I0 then. I rubbed it. So we know that I is lagging behind E by an angle pi by 2. This is the relation, sine omega t minus pi by 2. So you see how to draw I, that it should be perpendicular to E0 and it will be behind E0. What it will be? I0 will be perpendicular to E0. Why perpendicular? Because lagging behind by an angle pi by 2. And lagging behind, so it will be behind E0. Alright, means this is 90 degree and this is I0. So these are the peak values of the EMF and the current. So if you want to get the instantaneous value, then you know what you have to do. You have to draw the projection on the vertical line. For only our circuit also we have done it. So I hope you have not forgotten. So this is I, means this is I and this is E. Alright, you must remember it. This portion is give you the magnitude of E, and this length will give you the magnitude of the instantaneous current I. Alright, now if you want to draw the original, this is the phasor diagram. Alright, but originally how the vector, how the EMF and the current is varying, if you want to do, then this is the way you have to draw. We have drawn it already for the only R circuit. So here you can do it like this, that you have plotted omega t along the x-axis. You can plot t also. So you see E is equal to E0 sine omega t. So first of all you will draw the graph for E. So suppose this is the graph for E. Here on the whiteboard I am drawing, so this height I may not maintain equal, but when you will draw it in the ruled notebook, then you please maintain this height. This height should be equal. Alright, now you see here when E is minimum, so I am using another colored pen, then it will be easy for you to understand it. So you see here, understand it. When, as I said, according to this relation, when E is minimum, I is maximum, but in opposite direction. So this is the point I have got. Alright, then you see when E is maximum, then I is minimum. So this is the point I have got. Alright, I hope it is visible. I am using one blue color. Then you see when E is minimum, then I will be maximum, but it will be in the opposite direction. So this will be the point. Then again you see when this E is maximum, then I will be minimum. So this is the point. Again, when E is 0, then I will be, here you see I is maximum, then it is maximum in this direction, then it will be maximum again in the opposite direction. So these are the points. I don't have the ruled line, so this is the way I am just equating them. So you see what will be the graph for the current. This will be the graph for the current. Alright. So this black one, this is for alternating EMF and this is for alternating current. Alright, I have used the phase relation and plotted the graph. Is that clear? Again I am repeating, when E is minimum, I will be maximum but in opposite direction initially. And then when E is maximum, I is minimum. Then when E is minimum, I will be maximum, but now I will be in the positive direction. So exactly in the same manner, you first mark the points as I have done and then you join it by a continuous curve. And you can join it freehand only. So these are the two graphs for E and I, and the above diagram is the phasor diagram. Phasor diagram is very important. You must learn, practice and remember it for all kind of alternating current circuit. Next, two more important graph related with this topic is that XL versus F graph. Okay, now we know that what is the relation. XL is equal to omega L and omega one can write it as 2 pi FL. Alright, so you see XL is 2 pi FL. Alright, so according to this relation, XL varies linearly with the frequency, isn't it? So you see, if you draw XL versus F graph, it will be a straight line passing through the origin. But if you draw I0 versus F graph, you know I0 is how much? Is 0 by 2 pi FL. Alright, so you see I0 into F is constant. That's why if you plot I0 versus F graph, it will be a rectangular hyperbola because product of I0 and F is constant. So these two graphs and the phasor diagram, these two are important. So I am putting a mark. You must learn and practice these three diagrams. Alright, XL versus F graph, then I0 versus F graph, then the phasor diagram. So that's all for only L circuit. Next is only C circuit. Now only C circuit means what? C stands for capacitor, capacitance. So you have connected one capacitor with an alternating current source which is given by E is equal to E0 sin omega t. So you see, if you apply the Kirchhoff's law, EMF in the circuit should be equal to potential dropped across the capacitance. So I hope you can remember that Q is equal to CV, isn't it, for a capacitor. So what is the potential drop across the capacitance? It is given by Q by C. So E0 sin omega t is Q by C. Now, what is the current in the circuit? Current one can get from dq dt. So dq dt means ddt of, you see here, Q how much? C is 0 sin omega t. So you are getting C is 0 sin omega t. So C is 0, if you take outside the derivative, ddt of sin omega t is how much? Omega cos omega t. So you see, E0 C omega, I can write it E0 divided by 1 upon omega C, because 1 upon omega C means omega C will come in the numerator. And cos omega t you can write it as sin omega t plus pi by 2. So this is the current for only C circuit, whereas this is the EMF. Alright, now if you look at the phase part, for EMF it is omega t. For current, it is omega t plus pi by 2. Plus sign indicates what? That this one, the current is leading the EMF ahead of EMF by an angle pi by 2. So what are the important points you are supposed to learn and remember related with the only C circuit is that first I leads E by pi by 2. Remember, I leads E by pi by 2. Secondly, here you see, you can write I0, the peak value of the current is E0 by 1 upon omega C. Alright. So, what is 1 upon omega C? 1 upon omega C is known as the capacitive reactance or reactance means, and it is equal to 1 upon omega C. And what is the meaning of capacitive reactance? It is the resistance offered by C to I, by the capacitor to the alternating current. Alright. So these are the three important points you are supposed to learn and remember with the only associated with the only C circuit. I repeat it, that current leads EMF by an angle pi by 2 and peak value I0 is given by E0 by 1 upon omega C, whereas 1 upon omega C we denote it by XC, which is known as capacitive reactance. And what is the meaning of capacitive reactance? It is the resistance offered by the capacitor to the current, and omega is 2 pi f, so one can write 1 by 2 pi fc also. Now we have to draw the phasor diagram and how E and I originally varies with omega t, that diagram also as we did it for Now you see, for the phasor diagram, how to draw again. First of all, with the reference line, you draw a rotating vector making an angle omega t. So that will represent E0. Now you see, what is I here? I is leading the EMF by an angle pi by 2. Alright. So here, you draw a perpendicular to E0, but I will be ahead of E0. Okay, so here you see I is making an angle pi by 2 with E0. Alright, so this is the phasor diagram, and then how to get I and E again from the terminal point. Draw the projection. Draw the projection on this vertical line. Then you see this will be E and this will be I. Is that clear? So you must here I have, alright, this will be I and this will be E. Is that clear? So this is the phasor diagram. Then how to draw the original variation of E and I with omega t. So if you just draw it, this is E or I, and here you are plotting omega t. So if you consider this is the graph for EMF, then you see how to plot the current. So EMF when it is 0, current will be maximum because it is leading by an angle pi by 2, but it will be maximum in the positive direction. Then you see, when EMF is maximum, current is 0. Then when EMF again is 0, current will be maximum but in the opposite direction. Again, when EMF is 0, current is minimum, and when EMF is maximum, current is minimum, and when EMF is 0, then current will be maximum but it will be in the opposite direction. Alright, so these are the points for current we have got. If we join it by free hand, then this is the graph for current. So this is EMF, this one is for EMF, and this one is for current. Alright, alternating current in the circuit. Then next one will be, what will be XC versus F graph. As we have done for the previous one also. Now how we can draw it? Xc is equal to 1 upon omega c is 1 upon 2 pi f into c. So you see xc into f is constant. So what will be the nature of the graph? Xc versus f graph. It will be a rectangular hyperbola. Alright. But if you consider the I0 versus omega graph, I0 versus f graph, then what it will be? This is I0 and here you are plotting f. How you can do? I0 is, I hope you can remember, E0 into omega c means E0 into 2 pi fc. It was E0 by 1 upon omega c means it is E0 omega c. Alright, so E0 2 pi fc. So you see I0 is varying linearly with the frequency. So it will be a straight line passing through the origin. So again, this graph is important for exam. This is important for exam concept wise also, and the phasor diagram also important. Is that clear? So you must learn and practice all these 4 diagrams, and remember also the 3 relations already I discussed. Now next one is another important one. LR circuit means what? You have taken one inductor, you have taken one resistance, and you have connected them in series with the alternating current source. Alright. Now here you see this, for this one we will not do the same method as we did it for only L, R and C circuit. When it is a combination, then what we do, we apply our previous concept, we draw the phasor diagram, and then from the phasor diagram we get the relation. Alright. So here what is our concept? We can write potential drop VR. What is VR? Potential drop across the resistance. Now according to Ohm's law, what is the potential drop across the resistance? It will be current multiplied by the resistance. So I into R. Next, what will be the potential drop across the inductor? It will be current multiplied by resistance offered by the inductor. I hope you can remember what is the resistance offered by the inductor. Omega L. What is known as? That is known as, which one is known as? Inductive reactance. Alright. So what will be VL? Potential drop across the inductor, current into inductive reactance. Now, according to the phase diagram, what you can say, that we know that for only R circuit, the potential drop, it is in, if you consider the potential drop, it is in phase with the current. And in case of inductor, what happens? EMF leads the current by an angle pi by 2. Alright. So in this case, we draw the phasor diagram in a different manner. Okay. So you please follow it. So let us consider, you see here I have given a break here. What does it mean? We are considering this is the line representing the current I. Alright, this is the line representing current I, direction of the current I. Then you see VR and I, they are in phase. So this will be the VR, potential drop across the resistance. But what will be VL? VL, it will be ahead of I, or in the means opposite way I can say, I will be pi by 2 behind VL. Isn't it? That is the concept you have got in only L circuit. So you see VL will be ahead of I by an angle pi by 2. And you see here we are considering VR, VLE, they are the vectors, isn't it? Now we know that according to Kirchhoff's law, EMF is the resultant of all the PDs, isn't it? So you see here, if you consider VL and VR, these are the two vectors. Then if you apply the concept of parallelogram law, then you see what will be the resultant of VL and VR. Resultant of VL and VR will be the diagonal of the parallelogram. Alright. So here you see this is the diagonal of the parallelogram representing VL and VR by its two adjacent sides. So this will be EMF. Alright. This will be the EMF of this one. the net EMF applied in the circuit. So you see from this diagram it is clear E square is equal to VR square plus VL square. Now VR is how much? IR. So it will be I square R square and it will be VL is I square omega L whole square. So you see you can take I square common. It is R square plus omega square L square. So you see I you can write it as E divided by R square plus omega square L square. Is that clear? Now here, sorry, I will be under root R square plus omega square L square. Alright, because it was square. So you see, according to our concept, current is EMF by resistance. So this is the resistance offered by the combination of R and L to the alternating current. Alright. So this is the first point here. After this it is coming. Okay, as here there is less space, I am writing it here. So you can write down that this is denoted by Z. Okay, and this is known as impedance. What it is known as? It is known as impedance. So what is the impedance of the RL circuit? It is under root R square plus omega square L square. What is impedance? Impedance is the resistance offered by the combination R and L. Okay, I hope you have understood. When it is only single component we use, then the resistance we associate the term reactance. Okay, but when it is a combination of two components, then the resistance is known as the impedance. So in this case an impedance is always denoted by Z. So what is the impedance of the circuit? Impedance is given by under root R square plus omega square L square. Now if you consider this angle is phi, then what is the comment you can make about the phase relation between E and I? E leads I by an angle phi. Okay, by an angle phi. Is that clear? Now how you can get what is the value of phi? You see from this one it is clear. Tan phi is equal to VL by VR. Alright. Now VL is how much? Omega L by R. VL is I omega L and VR is I R. So I you can cancel. So omega L by R. So what is the phase difference between E and I? Tan inverse omega L by R. You have to remember these facts also. These are very important relationship. So for this one, these are the important points you are supposed to remember. I have highlighted this. The impedance of the circuit, the phase relation between E and I. What is the phase relation? E leads I because E is ahead of I. E leads I by an angle phi, whereas phi is given by tan inverse omega L by R. So these are the points. Please do learn and remember. Now next topic is only CR circuit. So CR means what? Capacitor, one capacitance and one resistance. You are connected in series with the alternating EMF. E is equal to E0 sin omega t. So if you consider the potential difference across the resistance is VR. So according to Ohm's law, you can write VR is equal to I into R. Then if you consider VC be the potential drop across the capacitor, you can write I into the resistance offered by capacitor, which is known as the capacitive reactance XC, and XC is 1 upon omega C. So you are getting I by omega C. What are the phase relation? I and VR, they are in phase, but I leads VC by an angle pi by 2. So you see, if you draw the diagram that this is the direction of the current I, then this will be the direction of VR. But as I said that VC, if I leads EMF by an angle pi by 2. So I will be ahead of VC. So this will be the direction of VC. How much ahead? By an angle pi by 2. And as we know, what will be the EMF E? It will be the resultant of VR and VC. So if you complete the parallelogram and if you join the diagonal, then you see this will give you E. Alright, so you see one can write E square is equal to VR square plus VC square. So VR means I square R square, VC square means I square by omega square C square. So if you take I square common, it is R square plus 1 upon omega square C square. So you see I, you can write it as E divided by under root R square by 1 upon omega square C square. Alright. So you see how much is the impedance in this case. Impedance is given by under root R square plus XC square, or you can write it as R square plus 1 upon omega square C square. Alright. Look at the phasor diagram E. It lags behind I by an angle phi. So what is the phase relation? E lags behind I by an angle phi. So how you can get phi from the relation? Look at it. Tan phi is equal to VC by VR. Now VC is how much? I by omega C, and VR is IR. So you are getting phi is equal to tan inverse 1 upon omega C R. Alright. So these are the relations you are supposed to remember. First is I is given by E by under root R square plus 1 upon omega square C square. R square plus under root R square plus 1 upon omega square C square is known as the impedance of the circuit Z. I am not writing it. Verbally I am saying. Then phase relation, E lags behind I by an angle phi. How to get phi? Tan phi is this. So phi is equal to tan inverse 1 upon omega C R. That's all for today. Thank you girls.